Hello, everybody. Welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble and on Patreon for extra support. Yesterday I didn't manage to do live stream. I got a little bit busy trying to um, basically order all the VODs episodes, just uploading to where it needs to be uploaded and all that jazz, so I can wrap up that part of the thing regarding the VODs, which I was lagging way behind. I did manage to, at the moment, make the uploads and let the thing to do the checks and all the things there, both on YouTube and on Rumble. But let's see if I can do some live streams today. I already published today one of the VODs, episode 16. I will be doing 16 or 17, I don't know. Here is 16, but I think I already published 17. I'm not sure. I'm a little bit off on that. And later on, I will publish another one. So again, trying to do a couple of VODs publishing until it catches up with the live streams. So I don't stress too much about that anymore. Yeah. Other than that, again, weekdays gaming news program. Try to stream as much as I can, and then of course the publishing of the VODs. Let's go for some news here. Something interesting on the industry here. Again, a little bit hammering the head on the especially the Chinese market in terms of manufacturing, producing the things. Again, it seems that in this article, it's specifically, again, it covers a little bit the part of, in this case, the display panel manufacturer BOE. Again, the opinion. Again, I do appreciate when people report stuff, but when you start inputting too much opinions, I don't think it serves very well the reporting itself. But yeah, supposedly that there is apparently such a thing as being too successful. Again, when it comes to, in this case, the BOE, which is display panels, in this case, I think this one, I'm not sure if it is only cell phone displays. But they try to compare it here. I covered these two Chinese companies also, CXMT and YMTC, which is the chips. I think more focused on HBMs, memory modules there. But then again, I think people don't understand very well how, let's say, capitalism works on the West comparatively at this moment in time, how capitalism works in China. Again, I think one of the things that they are very good at is being producing a lot of stuff at competitive prices. And I think one of the philosophies for that and principles is the fact that they are not searching for the highest profit margin per unit sold, but it's just basically trying to dominate the market itself. And one of the ways they can do this is because a lot of these big companies in China, they are basically they are invested by the government itself in a certain way, not fully, but around about 50% or so. At least that's the perception that I got. And again, one of the reasons that they have usually razor thin margins, in this case, they are talking about BOE in terms of the display, OLED stuff there. Specifically, they are covering here for Apple's iPhones since at least 2021 or give or take, so at least iPhone 13. Again, the fact that they can do this, they can basically, as it says here, control around 25% of the global display panel market. Again, and they can do this because they are not that focused on the margins themselves, which is supposedly around about 2.7%. Again, I'm assuming, given how this article is written, is the fact that again, people are criticizing this. I don't know why. It's a business model. Again, the companies are not going bankrupt. Because the profits from a given investment cycle are always directed towards funding the next round of capex. Again, capex, it's how they call this kind of business. Um, Again, it makes sense in the sense that how can I explain this? Again, if you are in this high rotational market where basically every year you have to come with a new display or new product, it makes sense that your R&D has to be kept up in pace. That's why I'm assuming these margins, when they call margins, the 2.7% margins, is already taking into account this R&D funding for basically funding the next cycle of new products that they have to go through. And the fact that they don't focus that much on the margins, like for the shareholders, let's say, which is usually what we see in usually American companies. Again, that creates also a lot of things, which is, again, I'm not saying that I don't know if BOE employees are very well paid or not, but I'm assuming that at least there is not a huge disparity, like the company working just for the shareholders' purposes. When you focus on being competitive and try to catch or gain a huge market share on that specific product, again, you can give yourself some leeway of having less margins. And by the end, basically, the profits will be big because you're basically overthinking the market itself. So less margins for each product, but if you sell, I don't know, 10 times the product of the competition, again, your profits will be even bigger. But yeah, I don't know what's the problem with these people. I don't know if they are pro-corporate, which is basically only the CEOs and the shareholders are doing the money, the rest is getting fucked over, especially consumers. Usually that's what it happens. But yeah, even though again there is this thing now turning to this HBM and memory chipset chips and all the high-end chips, even though again memory is kind of a different way of going about doing the manufacturing of this. Again, I covered a little bit these two companies that they are expanding a lot. I think they want to double or triple the output that they have, which is basically from around 120K wafers per month to I don't know, double that. And one of the other companies, which is at around 200K wafers per month, basically I don't know, 50%, 50%, yeah, 50% up to 300K wafers per month by the end of this year. Yeah, again, because they can have kind of the luxury of producing a lot, they can, to a certain extent, diminish their margins, so their product will be at a competitive quality, but they can basically upheave or basically outbid the competition by putting the product being less expensive, and that will always reflect on the consumer side of things usually. But yeah, I don't see what the problem is. Again, it's a way of doing capitalism, which is basically more heavy dependent on the state itself, and that's why, to a certain degree, given that again the state itself can put their pockets in these kind of huge investments and having at least some return, they can maintain at least some good job numbers, which is something, again, I don't know why states from other countries don't do at least something similar to this, which to a certain extent it's almost kind of semi nationalizing like huge companies to a certain extent, for them to, at least if you are on our country, let's say, and if you're generating wealth, again, the state, which is for all intents and purposes representative of its people, should take a little bit of that share there, and then again, you don't need to overtax your own people to get around, and can do that revenue collecting from the investments that the state has in these kind of huge companies. I think it makes a little bit more sense than to basically overtax people and then you basically have products that are overpriced. I think makes less sense there. Just for some CEOs and some higher management and some investors just live in their, I don't know, 10 mansions and have a fleet of private jets again. That creates throughout time wealth gap that is not very healthy. But yeah, it seems that again, people don't understand very well what's the philosophy in terms of how China does capitalism. It's more again more state sponsored, let's say, in terms of when there is huge investments needed to be done, and then of course the state will collect those profits or some share of those profits, so it doesn't need to overtax people. And to a certain degree, when you don't need to overtax people, people will have more money by the end of the month, and the accumulation effect of that is usually quality of life improves overall. Again, if it is done properly. Again, I'm not commenting if China or not, or any other countries, but again, we're seeing a lot of fuss about between I don't know, from high-speed rail like infrastructure maintenance and building, the huge disparity from the, let's say, the shining light in the hill of what supposedly is the United States. Again, you see infrastructure crumbling all over the place. You don't see high-speed rail, trains. Again, you see a lot of differences there, while it seems that even Chinese government tend to be more invest more on their own infrastructures and try to improve to a certain way the quality of life that of their own citizens. And you saw this from several studies. I don't know, last 50 years or so, they managed to lift out of poverty. I don't know how many millions of people's throughout these last decades there. But again, that's a different story. But for here again, when it comes, especially at this moment in time, where is at this moment a huge demand on AI accelerators and all the chips, memories, and all that just to be done. Again, China is on the vanguard there, even though they might not have at this moment in time the access to, like for example, the high-end chips, like to a certain degree, like TSMCs and Samsung's, SQ Hynix. Again, they can, to a certain degree, outproduce everybody in the world and gain market shares all over the place there. Again, it's one of those things that I thought I should comment, or because I'm seeing a lot of articles here that they basically the implication is China is not doing capitalism in the right way. It seems. Again, basically, I think the Chinese government for all. Whatever, if it's good or not, again, it's not me. I don't live there, but it seems that they have seems now they have a different way of doing what we call capitalism in a more socialist way. I think it might be called. Again, I don't know the technical terms, but again, the fact that they can basically outproduce and gain a majority of the market, it's mainly because they are more competitive, because they can they sacrifice the margins of their products to be more competitive, while other companies that just want growth, the infinite growth, I don't know, mantra, which it's not something that supposedly these Chinese big companies have in mind. I think they want a more steady growth, having everything paid off. They don't need to go in debt to try and grow the company itself. I think it's more like you manage a house to a certain degree. But yeah, enough of this, of my opinions regarding this. But yeah, it's interesting to see that I've been seeing some articles referencing how, again, for all intents and purposes, they dominate the market. And one of the reasons I think is they sacrifice profit margins to dominate market and put their prices. Again, the quality is on par with other companies, and they just manage to do the price a little bit lower. So again, more competitive in that sense. In terms of games, not much happened. At least that got my attention. We got supposedly another Crimson Desert patch, 1.04. again, they seem to be doing very good since the game launch in improving from basically in every area in the game. And now I think I covered this, the path that the roadmap that they have for the upcoming fixes and patches that they are trying to implement. And at this moment, this one is one of them is difficulty settings. Basically, the normal one is like the existing gameplay experience since launch. But they now have basically an easy one, which basically reduces damage taken, lowers enemy stats, and extends parry and dodge window. And then you got the hard one, which is more again challenging. Supposedly, food effects only apply after the full consumption animation completes. Enemies hit hard and move faster. Then you got parry dodge windows are tighter, and then roll invisibility frames are reduced. And boss even get new attack patterns. Again, more challenging stuff there. Um, Again, one of the other tricks is bosses are no longer immune to player attacks while performing powerful attacks. I assume like charging attacks or something like that. Suppose they were immune. Now it's not the case. And the frequency of bosses' counterattacks and escapes has been adjusted. Then you got new skills and weapons for the playable characters. On the control sides, they launched at least new presets there for keyboard, mouse, and controllers. The inventory, which I think it was of the bigger complaints, now seemingly is way better in terms the input category tabs from all documents, equipment, food, materials, others. Sortings are also better, it seems. Then you got the housing and storage system supposedly receives a major overhaul. There is a new sturdy gatherables chest. Got a lot of slots for everything. How can be organized and all that jazz. Again, I never played again, so I'm not sure what they are referencing here. And then on the technical side, they also introduce significant improvements to distant objects and texture rendering quality. Scaling with graphic settings, which is always good. And then develops also improve character visual quality at long distances and enhance air lighting in shaded areas. Again, there is something that they didn't manage to introduce, but I think it's upcoming in the next patch, which I completely forgot. Oh, here. Except for boss rematches, which is one of the features they announced on the roadmap. Again, it will be released on the future press, so it's not included on this one. But yeah, they are doing good. 5 million copies in 1 month, I think it is. Yeah, 5 million marks in less than a month since launch. Again, there was this article that they failed to enter top 10 on the best selling games in March. Again, I don't like to see, again, it can give us an idea, but usually when you see just, for example, North American market, European market, you don't have kind of the global sense of how the game is performing. Again, when they reference here, the top 10 is failed to enter top 10 of the best selling games in March. Again, this is reference to the North America market. So it's just trying to, I don't know, be selective on the way you are presenting the information. But yeah, and that it's selling well. Again, I think some things are going to be very difficult to fix, especially the story, which I suppose it's still the weakest element in the game. I think they fumble a little bit there. I'm not sure how this can be, I don't know, patched or repaired. But yeah, other than that, it seems to be a very excellent sandbox game where you can go around and play with the systems in the game itself. But yeah, good to see that at least people are enjoying the game when they play. Then you got the Blood of Dawnwalker. I covered this last year when they said that they're going to announce roundabout spring to summer a more complete showcase since the announcement, the official announcements of the game. Supposedly this is going to be set 28 this month. Got a date and time here again, Eastern time, PT Pacific time. So it will be in the morning there. Supposedly it's going to be around about 45 minutes broadcast, and it's going to have we're going to have a release date announcement, more gameplay, or at least on the open world there. Got a trailer for the story, system requirements, which is also good, so people can see if this game can handle. So if your PC can handle this game, and then some developers insight into the game's open world and storytelling, music, and more. Again, very interesting things are being done with this game. Again, this is from a lot of CD Projekt Red developers and creative directors, and even from other fields like I think music, also audio, Quest directors from Witcher 3. I think they are here. Again, it seems to have a good pedigree of people that work in games, specifically on The Witcher 3, and some of them also did work eventually on Cyberpunk. The one of the things that fascinates me most is the way they are approaching time with the from day and night cycle, how you have to manage time, because depending on how you do certain quests, specifically the main quests, the time will advance by a certain amount. So one of the ways you can try and juggle certain quests that might be easy to be done at night, you just advance by doing certain things so the time slot advances until it's night, and then you can take that quest to be done at night. But then you got also the fact that it's 30 days in game time, 30 days day night cycles that you have to complete the game, or else basically you lose. At least that's the perception that it got was. So we got 30 days to complete the like the main quest itself, and you have to manage that by choosing. Basically, you have to do some concessions there when you do a playthrough. So you cannot do everything in game on the first playthrough. So it incentivizes not only replayability, but at least having certain decisions have those consequences, and that is represented after the 30-day cycle, which you can complete before those 30 days, but that's the time limit that of what they choose to let the players to do what they need to do on the main story quests there, which is something interesting. Hopefully you can get more information about that. Again, they have the road to launch event here. Again, 18 plus, so that's why it's age restricted here. But yeah, this is what I got. There is some stuff here, as you can see, the resync stuff. Again, world reveal when it comes supposedly today. Maybe tomorrow I will see if there is something that is worthwhile covering from this one. I don't think so. I don't have a lot of faith on this remake from Ubisoft. Again, they are butchering every game that they are launching for I don't know how many years. But yeah, I'm hopeful for this one. It's a new IP. It seems to be a pretty good game with a lot of lore and interesting things to say about what RPGs can do. I'm going just to wrap up with some gaming deals. We still have Dark Souls trilogy on PC, 50% off. So Dark Souls Remastered, 50%. Same thing with Dark Souls 2, Scholars of the First Sin, and the same thing, Dark Souls 3. With Dark Souls 3, I do recommend the Lux Edition, which is both DLCs there, which is the Ring CD and Ashes of Ariandel. Then you got Herdling. This one seems pretty good, very positive feedback. Again, very interesting game, interesting concept, some interesting also art style. I'm curious to play this game and see how it goes. And it has 40% off. We got also Liza P, Liza P, 50% off on the base game, and then you got the Overture, which is the DLC, 33% off. Again, very positive feedback. One of the best Souls-like kind of games that came out in the last years. So again, it seems to be a must play if you like these kind of games. Then you got Planet of Lana, still on sale, 70% off. You have a bundle, you can buy both games, it seems. Here it's 20% off the bundle of the two games. Again, I do recommend this game, especially at this price point. I did a game series on this one. If you're curious about, you can check the first couple of episodes to have an idea what this game is. And then the second one is also on sale. It's by itself 20% off, and then there is the Planet of Lana collection, again 20%. But yeah, basically this is it. I'm just going to finalize here with a plug on my Patreon for extra support. I'm not doing anything exclusive. I don't plan to do so. Again, this is a hobby. I just have a Patreon for people to have a way of, if they want to do some extra support there, you have an avenue for that. But yeah, other than that, I publish everything here also. Yeah, with all that said, I will see if later today I can do some live stream And in the meantime, I will publish another VOD to try and catch up with the live streams there. Other than that, I hope you have a full day, and I'll see you in the next one. Till then, Kunamy Master out.